So this is a very brief overview of pricing strategy, which is an area of business that a lot of people struggle with. Now, whilst there are numerous strategies that a business can employ in terms of pricing, each has their own implications for your profit margin. And whichever you choose, it's vital that you employ the right strategy for your business model at the right time. So let's quickly run through a few examples of tried and tested pricing strategies. And we're going to use the example of a coffee shop, mainly because it's a fairly straightforward business model that we've all had some experience of as customers. And for our purposes, let's assume that most of our like-for-like competitors are charging £2.70 for a regular cup of coffee. So first we're going to talk about competitive pricing, which involves charging just under the going rate to create the impression that the product or service represents good value for money. Most new businesses strive to appear competitive, and if we take the example of a coffee shop, if most of our competitors are charging £2.70 for a regular coffee, you'd be charging around £2.60. Undercutting involves taking a conscious decision to charge well under the going rate. So in the case of a £2.70 cup of coffee, we might charge £2.30 or even less. Now this is a common choice for new start businesses, and it can be a dangerous strategy, as at some point there will need to be a readjustment of prices to bring them in line with the market rate. This can create a negative perception with the existing customer base, so we need to be careful when we're using this strategy. Added value involves charging more or less the same as the competition, but doing a much better job or giving the customer more product or a much better service. So for a coffee shop, that might mean charging the customer the same price as everywhere else for a regular coffee, but giving them a large coffee instead for the regular price. Added value can be a very effective pricing strategy, as it's a good way of building customer loyalty. Demand-led pricing is where the customer dictates the price themselves, and this is common in cases where the customer is large and prestigious or could potentially buy a high volume of products from your business. Now, while this is clearly potentially attractive, we need to be really careful that we're not giving too much control over our pricing to our customer. For a coffee shop, the obvious example where we might encounter a demand-led pricing situation is where a local business is looking to get an external caterer to provide catering for their business meetings, but they don't want to pay above a certain price for their coffee. Loss leaders involve providing goods or services at below market value or even for free, and this generally occurs with new and inexperienced businesses where loss leaders are employed generally to try to get a foot in the door for future work. The problem which arises is that once the work has been offered, either at a reduced price or even for free, there's an expectation created with the customer that the price will remain there. So for our coffee shop model, this might mean drastically reducing the price for a short time in order to steal market share from existing competitors in the hope that they will stay. Discounting is different in that it involves reducing the price for a period or service for a finite space of time. Now, this is generally used for a particular purpose, which could be clearing slow-moving stock or to bring in valuable revenue at a time that's generally quiet. So we're talking about slow trading periods, or to stimulate interest around a new product which has just been launched. Now, discounting may have a part to play in your overall pricing strategy, but again, what happens to your business and your customer relationships when you try to raise your price to improve your margin? So these are some of the different ways in which you can use pricing within a business, but it's important to recognise that businesses generally adopt different pricing strategies for different products, or at different times of the year, or at different stages of the business's development. And it's the degree to which you can manage these strategies which dramatically affects the success and overall sustainability of your business.